Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Chat 49, and today I'm going to be comparing Colin Kaepernick to Cam Newton. So first of all, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for even making this video. People are going to say, why the hell are you comparing Colin to Cam? I mean, Colin was benched this year, and Cam just won the MVP. And I know where people are coming from, and I understand that. But this is just for discussion purposes. I know that Cam is a better quarterback right now. You saw what Cam was able to do in 2015 and in the playoffs. And I don't think anybody should take anything away from what Cam was able to do because going into the season, nobody expected Carolina to be that good, especially when Kelvin Benjamin got hurt and he was out for the rest of the season. We all said, all right, forget Carolina, forget them. But they almost went undefeated for the entire year. Obviously, they lost one time in the regular season and one time in the playoffs, which is obviously the Super Bowl loss. But overall, Cam had a great year, and I'm not going to take anything away from what he did because nobody should be able to. He had one of the best year anybody could have. I believe 45 touchdowns combined in the regular season. So, I mean, a great year for Cam, but again, I'm just making this video for discussion purposes. I don't know if you guys remember this chart from earlier in the year, but this chart went viral after Colin was benched, and basically this chart compares stats from the first 8 weeks of the season. And as you can see, the stats are very similar. Completion rate, Colin beats that. Passing yards, Colin beats that. Touchdown, Cam wins, but Cam also has 3 more interceptions. Colin, 15 more sacks. Colin leads QB rating, by a little bit, both at 78. Rushing yards, Cam has 30 more yards, but overall the stats are very similar. Now, one can make the argument that a lot of Colin's touchdowns and good plays, positive plays, came in garbage time when the 49ers were getting killed by other teams like Pittsburgh. If you remember week 2, Colin had decent numbers, but that all of that came in the fourth quarter, when things didn't really matter. So you have to consider those things too. But I mean, it's very interesting when you just look at the stats alone without considering all the other things. It's also important to remember that Cam took his game to a whole new level in the second half, so you have to remember that. But again, when you just look at the stats, it makes you wonder, like, how could one team be so good and one be so bad? It's just very eye-popping. When the Panthers lost the Super Bowl, nobody put the blame on Cam. Everybody talked about the O-line, the lack of running game, the receivers who couldn't get open, but nobody blamed that on Cam. And that kind of reminded me about the 49ers and Colin. The 49ers have no O-line, no receivers, no running backs. And that was not for one game, but that was for the entire season. But everybody blamed everything on Colin. Okay, nobody talked about the running backs. Nobody talked about the receivers. Nobody talked about the O-lines, okay? Maybe a few people did, but majority of the blame went to Colin. And I thought that was very weird because even if you're as good as Cam, if you have absolutely no help from your team, you're not going to win. And that was the situation Colin was in for pretty much the entire season. If you think about it, Colin Kaepernick came closer to winning a Super Bowl than Cam did because in 2012, Colin almost led the 49ers to a great comeback. If it wasn't for that pass interference that wasn't called, or if he actually gave the ball to Frank Gore, things probably would have been different. And, you saw what happened last week. It wasn't close. It wasn't close at all. So Colin actually came closer to winning a ring than Cam did, just to put one out there. Now, also, when you're comparing about the two quarterbacks, you should also talk about the teams each quarterback is facing because Colin and the 49ers had one of the toughest schedule going into this season or this past season, and Cam and the Panthers had a relatively easier schedule if you compare it to what the 49ers had to deal with. So don't be so excited about that 15-1 record, although I don't want to take anything away from it. You also have to, I'm just saying you have to keep that in mind as well. Lastly, we can't forget about that divisional playoff game. Obviously, Colin beat Cam that day, and things were so good for him. Colin was actually mocking Cam's Superman touchdown celebration, but I bring that up because it kind of proves to you as long as Colin has the right players around him and the right coaching staff, he can be a very good quarterback and a very efficient one. and the fact that he can lead, his team wherever it's going to be, whether it's 49ers or somewhere else, he can lead his team to a victory against a very good team. So, I think it's important to bring that up also because it's one of the major head-to-head competition the two quarterbacks have had in the past. If I'm a general manager and I had the option to draft either Colin or Cam at their respective age, not back in college, but right now, I would certainly choose Cam over Colin because Cam is a much more confident quarterback, and confidence is key to success in the NFL. Colin, all his confidence, everything he had going, pretty much went down the drain, so he has to start over. While Cam, he's going to be starting next season at a very high confidence level, and I think that's really going to help him moving forward. And, obviously Cam's going to sell me more jerseys probably. But, they're both great quarterbacks. They're very talented, very athletic. So I wish both of them luck moving forward. But I wanted to make this video for discussion purposes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be making highlights. Please make some requests because I'm starting to run out of some ideas. So give me some requests. I'll be making a lot more videos. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.